Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. Once again, Charlamagne the God is weighing in on this whole Kendrick Lamar Drake rap beef. And according to Charlamagne the God, this whole beef, this whole battle, this whole back and forth was always going to be an uphill battle for Drake because the industry has always rooted against Drake. Check this out.
I love when Kendrick says this. Kendrick, I like Drake with the melodies. I don't like Drake when he act tough. I've been saying for years, I say I don't like when Drake sings. I like when he raps. I've been saying, when Drake did that video back in the day, I don't remember what video it was when he had the hoodie on and the headlines and it looked like they was all like a flash mob that was going to run up in a store and steal every goddamn thing. Like they just couldn't wait to run up in H&M or something and just take everything off the fucking shelf. Like that's what I didn't like that either. You gonna make a nigga bring back Puff? Let me see if Chubbs really crashed something. That's a reference to when
I didn't get
they said slapped him, right?
Well, Puff allegedly slapped Drake. I'll never forget that night either.
You were there?
No, I woke up and my phone was ringing. I'm gonna tell you something. I can say this without a shadow of a doubt, and this is true. The industry is behind the scenes. They've always been against Drake. Like they've always actively rooted against Drake.
Why?
I do not know. Probably just because he's from Canada and he's winning. Probably because he's from Canada and he's not. He's probably because he's not American. I don't know. I
don't think that's it.
Yo, Drake used to say this in his raps, and he used to talk about the industry plotting him against him. He was not lying. I'm not even going to sit there and tell you no lie. Because whenever stuff like this used to happen to him, my phone would go crazy.
Well, who the fuck is the industry?
And it wouldn't be like regular people. It'd be like execs and like managers and shit like that. Like, yo, Diddy just slapped the shit out Drake. I'm like, really? And I'll never forget that night. So he's not. Drake's not paranoid when he says these things.
I just feel like why and who would be behind it if the industry is benefiting off of him?
All right, listen. Hate, jealousy,
bro.
and envy is a real thing, yo.
Listen, I disagree, and I don't think that the whole industry is against Drake, because you don't become one of the world's biggest rap artists when the whole industry is against you. And as far as Charlamagne using the example that his phone was ringing after P. Diddy slapped the mess out of Drake, listen, his phone would have been ringing if P. Diddy slapped T.I. His phone would have been ringing if P. Diddy slapped Future. His phone would have been ringing if P. Diddy slapped any rapper. So that's not proof that the industry is against Drake. That's just proof that people in the industry like to gossip. Now, I will say this. There are a lot of people, not necessarily in the industry, but a lot of people who are not feeling Drake because Drake does not really represent the culture. And it's not because he's from Canada, it's just because sometimes Drake just doesn't get it. For example, when you say to Kendrick Lamar, you're out there trying to free the slaves. Ninja, that's what he's supposed to do. And if you're trying to diss him for that, then what are you over there doing? What in the world do you stand for? Because trying to diss another rapper by saying you over there trying to free the slaves is equivalent to you trying to diss another rapper by saying you over there taking care of your wife and your family. You over there trying to teach them kids how to read. What? That's what they're supposed to be doing. And you have to think about it, because when a rapper says something like that, it's very telling, because that's the equivalent of a rapper being in a rap battle and being like, yo, you over there wiping your A and washing your hands after you get off the toilet. Yeah, because that's called proper hygiene, but that does beg the question, what are you over there doing? And see, that's why when it comes to like people not liking Drake, I tend to agree with Ebro in his analysis of the situation, because on many occasions, Drake has shown a lack of cultural competence. Check this out.
And I'm gonna say something that I don't think a lot of people have discussed, and this is important. One thing about hip hop is it's regional.
Yeah.
Geography is important. The map and the areas you own, when it comes time for somebody to take your head off, is very important in this game. It always has been. What's yours? Jay-Z, Brooklyn, Nas, Queens, Pac, West Coast, Biggie, Brooklyn. Like, you think about all the Meek Mill, Philly's mine. Like, these are mine. You can't even fuck with me in my town. When Kendrick dropped They Not Like Us, bro is basically saying, A, I'm from Compton, like I'm from this. I don't even make these type of records. Never even made one of these before. B, I'm going to own my zone. Literally, I'm going to provide my backyard where I live, where my family's cousins, where I went to school, with a soundtrack for this beef right here.
Defending my home
I'm gonna put a flag down to defend my home turf. And on the same song, I'm gonna ridicule you about co-opting Atlanta into your shit.
That was the most important part.
So now you can't even go ask them for a sound. And by the way, bro, what is your sound? What is yours? What do you own? Is what Kendrick, I feel, is asking on this song, because this is what I own.
Can I be honest with you? I feel like Drake's biggest lyrical misstep in this whole battle was the line about you always acting like we're about to free the slaves. Like knowing, I feel like the one thing, Ebro says it all the time, that you feel like he's never stood for anything. The one thing we could get at Drake for as much music as he's given black culture, he's never stood on anything like that. For him to have the balls to say that was crazy. You walk straight into that verse being called a colonizer. That was nuts. To me, that was his biggest fumble in this whole thing. The AI shit, the Pac shit, I know y'all were really upset about it. I was in that press.
That's what I said.
To me, this was the biggest misstep he's made so far.
To drop a regional specific sounding record.
Yeah, it's something Drake just can't do.
And you gotta realize,
gotcha.
But hold on, Eddie. That is Kendrick's indictment of Drake this whole time. Is that
you don't have identity, you don't have a sound, you don't have a home base, you don't have a region where you can collect the sound, you can cultivate a sound, you can collaborate with a sound and present it to the world.
And furthermore, you're black and you're not even in touch with what black people are really sensitive about. You don't stand for, which is why you brought up the slave shit.
Right.
Or when I talked about the Pac shit, I was like, yo, why you playing with Pac, bro? You're not from that. Like I said that earlier, I was like, yo, that could be problematic for you, bro. Like, don't play with Pac like that. Now you playing with the slave shit?
That was a lot.
Oh, by the way, this went over a lot of people's head. You got your white mom opening up a record saying, hey, I think you shouldn't use the right after that. What, bro?
Because it goes into, there's so many missteps in this. We already talked about the AI Pac thing, and we keep saying AI Pac like there wasn't an AI Snoop as well. So that's weird.
AI period.
Yeah. There's a slave line, which is weird. And then also, too, don't forget in 2020, All Right was literally the protest song. Like, Kendrick had the protest song of 2020. So to, like, knock that by saying you're making slave music, then you go in, he had the line we talked about, you probably hate pedophiles because you were molested, or whatever the line was, in Mother, I'm Sober.
But that's not even what the song's about.
He's saying he wasn't molested, so you misconstrued that. And also, that was weird already on its own. Like, let's say that was true. That's a weird conversation. Then the line, if I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd be arrested. That's Drake's quote. Weird. Like, that's weird, and that's not how the justice system works. And then also, weird, the Millie Bobby Brown just bringing her into it with no one said her name. Like, Drake has a lot of missteps in all of this, where you're like, bro, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
The reason Kendrick doesn't like Drake is beyond just, I don't like you as a person, which he said that too.
Plenty of times.
He doesn't like what Drake represents in hip hop. Yeah. He doesn't like that this individual basically is not authentic, doesn't represent anything of value to black heritage and black culture, isn't in touch with his blackness enough. And that is a lot. He spent a lot of time on that. And I think that is also an important detail, because hip hop, as we know it today, while yes, it is about having a good time and joy and all this, hip hop is an extension of the black nationalist movement. Make no question about it. It is a tool to share information and educate ourselves when the establishment doesn't do so. And also to make sure that we are represented towards each other and for each other. Like, that's a part of what the hip hop thing is and the basis of it. And while it's gone much more mainstream than that, and it's become other things and offshoots and tangents, etc. Kendrick is rooted in that in 2024. That's a powerful statement that I don't think Your mainstream pop hip hop fan will give a fuck, or your hookah smoking club, ass clapping IG thought gives a fuck about. But it's important to someone like myself because this hip hop shit saved a lot of our lives and actually taught us a lot of shit, not only about ourselves but about social dynamics, the country and where we come from.
Listen, I agree 100% with Ebro, but that's just me. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with Ebro or do you agree with Charlamagne? Let me know. And really quick, before somebody comes in the comment section like, "Oh, y'all just got a problem with Drake because he's mixed and he's Canadian." No, that's not it. Part of Drake's problem is he lacks cultural competence and awareness, which was clearly seen when he tried to use Kendrick's song Mother I against him. But don't take it from me. Listen to how Professor Sky breaks it down.
Okay, so first of all, he misreads the text. He reads the text. This is why it's very important. Critical thinking skills are very important. This is why it's the most important thing you can learn in college is critical thinking, reading comprehension. I'm not trying to be patronizing. I'm just trying to be honest. I'm trying to be clear. It is the fact that one could listen to or read the lyrics to the song Mother I Sober and conclude that Kendrick himself was sexually abused is completely against the sense of the text. The text itself is about generational trauma and about the fact that his mother assumed that he must have been abused because of the abuse that she suffered herself. It's about the presumption of it, not about the fact of it. He wasn't touched, but he was still affected because he was constantly chasing manhood. But Whitney's gone. By the time you hear this song, she did all she could. Drake, you sent us back to this song, and in this song, Kendrick Lamar told us that Whitney left him. And now we're supposed to sit there and listen to your track where you say, how come you haven't talked to Whitney in 6 months? It's like we know why. We know why. Because their relationship couldn't survive the results of the trauma that he suffered. And it wasn't SA, it was other stuff. And it's such a beautiful song. And it's so powerful. And it's so meaningful. And it's something that Kendrick can bring us. And it's a reminder, Drake, that you can't. That you just lack the self-awareness. And, dude, that's all right. I love, the Stooges. Like proto-punk from the 60s, Is Iggy Pop in 1969 capable of writing a song called Mother I Sober? No, not all music has to be all things all the time. But this is a very special thing. And you are attacking a man who is capable of doing something uniquely well in the art that you yourself practice.
Yo, I love watching this dude's YouTube channel. I swear, he just be breaking down hip-hop artists like crazy. Anyhow, Rabbi Schie has now decided to jump into the Drake-Kendrick Lamar debate. And he is saying that because of some of the things that Kendrick Lamar said about Drake, Kendrick Lamar is an anti-Semite. Alright, so the other night, Rabbi Schie jumps on Twitter and he writes, Kendrick Lamar once claimed I'm an Israelite. Now, he's labeling Drake an actual Israelite, a settler and a colonizer, attacking him for using the N-word and having lied about his religious views. Predictably, Kanye West is supporting Kendrick by castigating Drake for selling out for Little Bag, which is rap slang for, you guessed it, money. At Jewish Defense. Listen, all I have to say to that is, oh no, my Jewish brother, not today. Your attempt to cancel Kendrick is not going down today. Because as African Americans, there have been too many times when we've been bullied into silence like Stephen Curry by some, and I repeat some, members of the Jewish community who cry foul and/or anti-Semitism whenever individuals of the black community say anything that they perceive to be offensive. And let's be clear, I'm placing emphasis on perceive. You did it with Stephen Curry when he merely mentioned the video Hebrews to Negroes, but you ignored the fact that the platform Amazon Prime that he watched that movie on is run by a Jewish CEO, Andrew R. Jassy, who's still out there making money off of that movie till this day. So what y'all did is you accused Stephen Curry of being an anti-Semite, but yet you didn't say anything to the Jewish CEO that's still out there making money off of the movie that y'all claim is anti-Semitic. Come on now, we're not doing this. And we're certainly not canceling Kendrick Lamar because he said something about Drake that was absolutely true. Kendrick Lamar's indictment of Drake has nothing to do with Drake's Jewishness, and we're not going to allow you to weaponize his Jewishness in an effort to use, as you called in your tweet, the Jewish defense for a man who co-opted our African-American hip-hop culture in order to line his pockets and only puts on a yarmulke when it's convenient for him. Similar to the way that a chameleon changes colors based on the environment that it's in, Drake has proven time and time again that he'll morph into whatever he needs to morph into in order to blend into whatever hip-hop environment that he's in. And during his rise to fame, he has often colonized, co-opted, and adopted parts of Black American culture in order to cash in and forward his own agenda, while at the same time disrespecting African American hip-hop culture. Now, in that discussion, it's necessary to discuss the actual roots of Drake, the person who we're talking about. Therefore, his Jewish background may come up and is fair game in a conversation, especially when we're discussing a man who's out here trying to act like he's a boy from the hood, when in fact, he's a boy that was sitting in Hebrew school reading the Torah with his rabbi, which is not an anti-Semitic statement, but instead a historical statement of fact. So Rabbi Schie, what you need to understand is that trying to call Kendrick Lamar anti-Semitic is not going to work here, because one, this conversation is not about you, nor is this about Drake's Jewishness. This conversation is about Drake disrespecting our blackness in our African American hip hop culture, because we too have a culture that, like you, we have a right to protect. We as African Americans are having a conversation and discourse, and this is not the time nor place for you to interject yourself in that conversation that we're having amongst ourselves, along with our allies from other races and cultures who represent, love, and belong to the hip-hop community. Because the same way that you can defend your culture, identity, and traditions, we too have the same right, and that's what we're doing right now. So go sit down somewhere and mind your business. We don't want to hear from you right now, not on this, because what you're trying to do is interject anti-Semitism into the conversation, and that's not accurate nor appropriate. And for too long, we've been allowing you to dictate our conversations, but now is not the time. You're not invited to this cookout, and you're certainly not getting ready to destroy Kendrick Lamar's career with your false accusations of anti-Semitism. You don't get to just run around with your rubber stamp and label people as anti-Semitic when those people do not hate Jewish people just because you have a disagreement or you don't like the comments or statements that they made. And as a matter of fact, you jumping into this whole conversation out of nowhere talking about anti-Semitism is exactly what we're talking about when we're talking about some people not understanding hip-hop culture. And just so we're clear, anybody can rap. Black, white, mixed, it doesn't matter. Canadian, American, African, Jamaican, doesn't matter, because that's not what we're talking about. We are questioning the authenticity, the motive, and the personas that Drake has taken on during his career. That is what we're talking about. Listen, let me know what you think about Rabbi Schie jumping into the whole Drake-Kendrick Lamar beef and saying that Kendrick Lamar is anti-Semitic because he called Drake, who's a real Israelite, a settler and a colonizer, and attacked him for using the N-word. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, check this out. The other day, a school teacher posted a video of himself online getting his hair done by some of his students. And after he posted that video, debate sparked online because some people were like, yo, this is absolutely inappropriate, while other people were like, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing because that's exactly how good teachers build good bonds in a classroom. Well, after the video went viral and he received a whole bunch of backlash, the teacher jumped back online to explain his position. Check this out.
Let's go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself because it would have taken me forever. So naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out, and they all agreed. Number 2, this was at the end of class. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM fair projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes. I wrote all of them a pass at the beginning of the class period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People are saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an effective teacher. I make sure my students know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics, because caring for the whole child is what's important. Some of these students have been with me since I was a substitute 4 years ago. They see me as a big brother or a father figure, as some of them say. And me, I don't want kids of my own, so all of these kids are literally my children. And in case you're wondering about their parents, most of them follow me on social media and always talk about my videos with their kids. They always tell me that they're so grateful that their kids have someone like me in their life. In my admin, they're well aware of my social media presence and they love my videos. To me, this is just another wholesome moment that I'm having with my kids that I was fortunate enough to catch on film. Since I'm a science teacher, one thing that I teach my students about is symbiosis. Symbiosis deals with the relationships between organisms. The type of relationship that I like to foster in my class is mutualism, or mutualistic relationship, which means both organisms benefit from the exchange. So when my students have good behavior, complete all their assignments, and do everything that a scholar is supposed to do, I reward them with downtime and just time to just be a kid, be on their phones, play games, gossip, so on and so forth. My students and I work hard and we play harder. I'm fortunate enough to have students that feel safe and comfortable around me, safe to come to me with their problems, their frustrations. They come to me seeking guidance and wisdom, or come to me simply to chill and hang out because they know that they have a safe space to be themselves around me. What I strive to do as an educator is be the teacher I wish I had growing up. I strive to be the teacher that makes my inner child happy, someone that my inner child will be proud of. I want to be the teacher that my students reflect back on 20, 30 years down the line and think like, dang, that teacher I had in middle school, he was the shit. No further questions, Your Honor. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. You think this was inappropriate or people are making something out of nothing? And although you are entitled to your opinion, all I ask is that you be respectful. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. See, at first, I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. The kids are helping out their teacher. They're helping him take out his hair. I've seen kids help teachers with their hair before in school, and it was no big deal. However, that was during their free period after school or during lunch. But when he explained it and he said that there was 10 minutes left to that class, I was like, nah, bruh, you could find something for them kids to learn in that last 10 minutes. Because to me, as a teacher, what I learned is that there's no such thing as free time during the school year when those kids don't even have time to get through the whole curriculum. So what he could have done is made getting his hair done part of the lesson. For example, you gotta get creative with it. Teach the young girls how to fill out invoices and also write out receipts for the work that they did for you, and then after they complete doing your hair, you pay them, because then them taking out your braids turns into a valuable economics lesson. Now, me personally, I have certain lines that I just won't cross in a classroom, and that includes letting my students do my hair, but that's just me. Now, after he explained why he had his students taking out his braids in the class, a whole bunch of people in the comment section had something to say. And one person said, it's teachers like him that students remember and respect the most. He'll be the teacher that they gravitate most to. And then somebody else was like, I'm a teacher, and to be quite honest, there are times when you have to say no as an adult based on rules and regulations of the school. This is unprofessional behavior, and as a professor or teacher, you have to know how to carry yourself in a professional manner. It might seem innocent and that nothing is wrong with it. However, we have to look at rules and regulations that guide how we practice and carry ourselves in certain settings. These are considered minors, and you could easily be held accountable for doing something like that. And then, after that, somebody else said, it's giving predator. Right before the Selly Cell said, where all the combs come from is the only question I got. Cause baby, they was prepared. Yes, they were, the Selly Cell. Yes, they were. Listen, let me know what you think. Do you think that this teacher allowing his students to do his hair in the classroom is appropriate or inappropriate? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know why you think it's appropriate or inappropriate, because I'm very interested in knowing what you think about this teacher getting his hair did in the classroom. But while we're talking about high schools, the other day, New Hartford Central High School District in Connecticut had an art show, and during the art show, one of the students displayed their artwork, which was a poster for a made-up cereal called Monkey Premium Cereal. The cereal box featured a picture of LeBron James with a caption that read, "Eat like a monkey, jump like a monkey." Now, after seeing the artwork on full display in a high school gym, an anonymous source took a picture of the artwork on the wall and sent it to the Daily Sentinel. After the newspaper put out the story, the school district announced that it's immediately launching an investigation into the poster, and the superintendent of the schools, Cosimo Tangora Jr., said it's disheartening that the racist work was not only created, but then overlooked and allowed to be displayed. Oh my goodness, what in the world is going on here? First off, when you have a school program, an adult is supposed to be supervising that program. So, a whole bunch of adults, staff members, and administrators walked past that wall and allowed for that cereal box, which referred to LeBron James as a monkey, not only to go up there, but to stay up there for the duration of the exhibition. And if a conscious observer hadn't seen that cereal box and been totally disturbed to the point where they contacted the Daily Sentinel, that darn cereal box would probably be over there still displayed on that school's wall. And then, on top of that, where in the world are this kid's parents? Because your child is not supposed to be able to get to school with a cereal box that has LeBron James on it with a caption that says, "Eat like a monkey, jump like a monkey," because you're supposed to be checking your kid's homework. See, this particular situation right here is not because of the failure of any one person. This right here is because of the failure of multiple people. And after they do their investigation, multiple people, including the child who made the artwork and the adults, all of the adults, including the parents and the teachers, need to be disciplined, because this right here is unacceptable in 2024. All right, let me share this last story with you. A lot of people are making fun of Rick Ross because when they saw a video from his last performance, they're saying that because he dissed Drake, his crowds are not as big as they were before. Check this out. Yo, what in the world is going on? I thought Rick Ross was the man. Why in the world is Rick Ross on stage performing for like 18 people? Is that really the effect of what happens when you go against Drake? Let me know in the comments. Is this the Drake effect? Do you lose all your crowds when you go up against Drake? Wow. Well, whatever the reason is that Rick Ross's crowd is so sparse, at least I can say he put on a good show and all 18, 19 people look very happy. Listen, let me know what you think about Charlamagne the God saying that behind the scenes, the industry has always actively rooted against Drake. Ebro saying that Drake's problem is that he doesn't have a regional identity. Professor Sky saying that Drake lacks cultural awareness and that's why he misinterpreted Mother I. Rabbi Schie calling Kendrick Lamar anti-Semitic and calling on the Jewish defense in defense of Drake, the teacher letting his students do his hair, the school displaying the artwork that depicted LeBron James as a monkey on a cereal box, and Rick Ross performing for a very small crowd at his show after he dissed Drake. Let me know what you think about all of that in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.